So welcome back to Elton Hall, where we're going to continue with the seance. So I'm going to begin by sending one of you to Corridor G, where 10 of the 12 students lived who lost their lives in the suicide pact. And I'm going to get one of you to go and sit alone in one of those rooms in that corridor for the main part of tonight's experiment to report if anything happens from there. Okay, let me show you the rooms. We've got a CCTV camera in all of them. There's also a chair in each of them and a whiteboard and a pen, which are going to be important later on. So whoever goes into that room will be able to see and keep track of, and I'd like that to be you, Sally, if that's okay. All right, great. Come with me. Excellent. They'll give you instructions on how to get there, all right?
Fine, yeah.
Okay, so if you go through there, they'll do that for you now. Cheers. Thanks a lot. They're just around the corner. So Sally is essentially going to go and sit in the dark for a bit on her own with a whole set of expectations in her head, and I'm interested to see how that affects her state, whether she starts to imagine a presence or whatever in the room that she's in.
Derren?
Yes. Is she in the corridor?
In the corridor.
All right, fantastic. Okay. Oh, there she is. Hi, Sally. Can you hear us? Sally, can you hear us?
Yeah.
You're in the corridor where 10 students lived. 10 out of 12 students who were manipulated and essentially murdered by a charismatic young man under whose spell they fell. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to walk down the corridor. As you do, I'd like you to have a look at the door numbers, just have a look at them all. And then you're going to go and stand in front of one of the doors, all right? Yeah. And that will be the room that you're going to go into. Yeah. All right? Does that make sense? You're going to go and stand in front of one of the doors. So just start walking down for me now. Just have a look at all the doors as you go. Just really get a sense of that corridor. Look at all the doors, the door numbers. Get a sense of the corridor, a sense of where you are. And just let one of those draw you to it, either the number or the door itself, or a sense of what the room is like behind it, I don't know, but just let one of them draw you to it. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
All right, great. Now there's a camera inside, so I'll be able to see, but I'd like you to go in for me. It is probably fairly dark in there, so as you go in, I want you to see where the chair is. On the chair, there's a few bits and pieces. There's the whiteboard and pen. You'll need to take those off and just put them on the floor.
Yeah.
Great. Just put those on the floor and take a seat for me. Okay. Now, it's fairly dark in there, but it's not pitch black, is it? The curtains are open, I think. So your eyes will become accustomed to the light in a minute, and you'll be able to see what there is. Now, you're right there for a bit.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So you're just there to tell us anything that maybe goes on in that room. You're going to keep us posted about what's happening over that side of the building. All right, great. So we're going to come back to you and speak to you in a bit. For now, can we just turn Sally's sound off? Can you hear us now, Sally? Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to try something called automatic writing. Mediums would take a piece of chalk and a slate, and they'd put the end of the chalk against the slate, and they would allow their hand to write. And the idea was the hand was moving outside of their own conscious awareness, and that it was a spirit that was channeling through them and could give messages for the people at the seance. It's called automatic writing. I'm going to try this with you. I'm also going to try it with Sally in the room, but I'm going to cover Sally up so that what she does in the room doesn't influence what we do here, all right? So, also I would ask people at home if you want to do this too. Obviously at home you won't be channeling any spirits, but if you can take part in this, you'll find it interesting just to see what happens and how your hand moves. So would you just take a good seat back just there? That'll be great, thank you. And I'm going to give you a board and a pen, and just rest the end of the nib against the board there. Now just look at me. And what's really important here again is that you can allow yourself just to get into a kind of a comfortable, relaxed trance state, which is exactly what the mediums used to do. They used to get, that's very good, thank you. Just let your eyes close and your head drop down. Okay, great. So, what I'd like you to do, and can we get sound contact with Sally, please? Sally, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sally as well, I'd like you to pick up the board and pen,
Okay.
take the nib off the pen,
Yeah.
and hold the end of the pen just against the board. And at home, do the same thing with the end of your pen against the paper that you're leaning on. And we're going to start trying to get a bit of information about which spirit, which one of the students we might be contacting tonight. All right? And we're going to try and get where the student lived, what city they came from. So, Amy, all you're going to do is just to imagine whatever the spirit is that you have in mind, whatever student drew you in through her or his picture, just to begin to move your hand now. And it's a city that you're going to write, but don't think about what you're writing. And also, Sally, as you do this, just allow your hand to write. It doesn't matter what you write.
Okay.
You just allow the hand to move wherever it wants to go. Okay. Can the camera come in and see this, please, Jono? Can we come in and see this? All right, that's fantastic. I'm going to turn this slightly so the camera can see. Okay. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the city, but what I'd like you to do is just to come back to me and just open your eyes. Great, thank you so much. And I'm just going to show everybody here what we've got. Okay, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want Sally hearing in the other room. Any particular reason why you wrote that without saying what it is?
No, I sort of put the pen to it and it sort of did it without even thinking. It was like sort of doing it for me. It was really weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really weird.
Now, it's a big city, but obviously you could have written absolutely anything. I'm going to go over to Sally and find out what she wrote. We're going to open this now so we can see her. I didn't want that influencing you. Sally, just tell us, what city did you write?
London.
Can you hold it up and just show the camera just so we can see that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the right way up, but there you go.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, London, I suppose, is a fairly large, obvious city. Maybe that's why you both wrote it. I don't know. However, 2 out of the 12 students, only 2, in fact, did come from London. I'm not going to say which 2 they were because I don't want to influence anything that happens later on.